Abiotic Factor 1.0 has finally arrived, and with it, new areas, new creatures, new tools, and the conclusion of the game to unravel. This is a continuation of my previous Abiotic Factor video, so recommend checking out that video first. This will be a spoiler-full video where I'll tell you about my final journey in this game and my final opinion of this game. For this video, I recorded my initial playthrough, so all the gameplay footage will be me besting this stretch of the game for the first time. The game previously ended in the Praetorium, which is the headquarters of the Order and counts as a portal world. You have gained one alliance with a member of the Order in this place, this guy, Tria, who will aid you in the takedown of the gatekeepers, who plans to harness the power of IS-0117, a giant eldritch creature that you have seen glimpses of throughout your playthrough. The Praetorium really kicked my ass. If Shadowgate was a gauntlet, then this was a fisting session with a brass knuckle. These assassins were really tricky to defeat and would usually drain all my stamina in my attempts to kill them. The biggest hurdle of this area though was this final stretch, which has a whole army plus a machine gun defending it. The machine guns in this game are extremely tough to deal with as they will drain your HP in seconds, and if you survive, you will bleed to death anyways, unless you're quick with a band-aid. This section took me a long while before I beat it. I managed to get past the machine gun after a lot of struggle, but I got stuck in this corner, and the only way to progress was to kill the machine gun itself. None of my tools and weaponry had any chance of completing the job, except for one. My rocket launcher, that has one shell of ammo left. If I miss, I'm dead and have to reattempt this whole section. I just fire, and I miraculously hit on target. Jeez Louise. I also got jump scared by these flamethrower guys, holy crap. Anyhow, eventually I managed to best this area and reach the end of it. You get to touch the sun disk, which permanently infuses you with heat that will allow you to survive the final sector of the game, the Residence sector, which has frozen over due to a portal world catastrophe. As I tried to get into the Residence sector, I was immediately faced with an obstacle. This door. It's just not interactable. I tried to shoot it, I tried to walk on the rail to get to the sector, I looked everywhere. I came to the conclusion that I must have missed something. So I went back, which led me to my first slight encounter with the new Layak. The Krasu? Not sure how you pronounce it. I only saw it despawn, so I didn't really have time to process what it was. I was just like, huh? Must have been a wind. So I ran around trying to figure out how the hell to progress, and I couldn't, so eventually I turned to the Deep Field Discord and asked these gentlemen if they had any knowledge. And apparently you could just make the tram keep moving by clicking one more time. Oh. All the other trams in the game you can only interact with once, so it never hit me to click twice. Anyhow, shout out to these gamers, and here we are, the Residence sector. I rendezvoused with Tria as we were about to foil the gatekeeper's plans, and... oh. Abe and Janet had other plans. These are two comic relief characters that you have been meeting throughout the whole game. Oh well, I guess I'll continue on my own. You are tasked to suppress the storm that's going on here via this storm containment device. You need 3 different components: a heart of corruption, a transuranic super alloy, and a Layak essence. These are relatively easy to get at this point in this game. Just takes a slight grind. Anyhow, a slight grind later, I fixed it. Then I was tasked to get through the ice to progress to the shopping district. I received a recipe for the flamethrower earlier and came to the conclusion that's what I need to melt the ice. However, I'm missing one component for the flamethrower that I have never seen before: a thermocell. I came to the conclusion that I need to find it somewhere in this sector, so I started digging around. Throughout this process, I managed to bump into the Krasue quite a few times, but always at a safe distance, so I never got a good look at it. However, during my quest to find a thermocell, I'm exploring these half-ruined living spaces, and then suddenly he appears through this door, and I finally get a good look at this guy. and he's freaky as all hell. Personally, I think he looks scarier than the Layak, actually. Fortunately, he was never able to get the better of me, mostly because if he's staring at you, you get this big meter at the top of the screen revealing his presence, and as such allowing you to get away from him or make him disappear rather easily. Anyhow, I managed to get past the Krasue and the maze of ruined living spaces, and eventually stumble upon the thermocell, and also this contraption that contains the mind of a mouse.
Where cheese?
I crafted a flamethrower and made my way through this icy section, meeting up with Dr. Khan, or well, what probably is a thing that is taking the form of the late Dr. Khan, which we were introduced to back in Cascade Labs. Flamed this ice section and made it to the shopping district, or well, what's left of it. I stumble upon Dr. Riggs, who tells me that in order to deactivate the shield that covers the gatekeeper's base of operations, I need some kind of technology from another group of gatekeepers who are hiding in the Botanical District, and so I make my way over there. The Botanical District has a unique mechanic that makes you travel between two mirror worlds of the same location. I never understood lore-wise what caused this shadow realm of sorts to exist, but regardless, after a while of exploring, killing some tree guys, I made my way through and found this faction of gatekeepers, which I have stumbled upon many times throughout my playthrough. I never really understood what the deal with these guys were. They are passive or even friendly towards you, but they speak in riddles and poetic language, which prevents you from understanding their motives and relationship to anything, really. Anyhow, they lead you the way to this portal, which takes you to a gatekeeper headquarters in an unknown location. What the hell is this place? And where? More questions than answers are delivered here. A mysterious voice allows you to exit without consequences, so I just exited. What I didn't realize was that I missed this crucial object right here. Only circa 2 hours later, when I couldn't figure out how to progress, I went back and found it. This pod gives you the recipe for the Excursion suit and the motion module. The Excursion suit is not obligatory to complete the game, but it boosts your stamina, your mobility, and gives you a double jump. So I thought, hell yeah, and decided to grind to make it. I then did some additional grinding to make some more motion modules, as they are required to take down the shields in the shopping district, or the Fragments, as it's officially called now. With the help of the double jump, I speedran through the fracture and took down the shields, exposing the final frontier of the game. Dr. Khan is here, and he says he can make a portal out of here using the gatekeeper's dark lens, as it's called. But we need to take down the gatekeeper's defense system to access it. In order to do it, we have to defeat some guardians. First this witch, secondly this chieftain and his goons, then this Jotun, and finally, actually I need to mention just how difficult it was to kill this specific Jotun. Holy crap, it took me so many resources and deaths to get this guy down. What an asshole. Holy crap. Anyhow, and finally this Mystagog. For a moment I was convinced this was the final encounter of the game, or its final boss fight. But as I defeated the Mystagog, a portal opened and I entered it. Before we go to the final section of this game and this video, I have a small question for the Deepfield dev team. Why did you increase the grass height in the world in the mirror? Look at my base now. How am I supposed to live like this? SMH. Before the 1.0 patch, the grass was much shorter, so it didn't grow through the floor that I've made here. I'd love for the grass to be shorter again. This is honestly a minuscule nitpick. I'm probably the only guy in the whole world with this problem. Anyhow, let's move on. Through the portal, you are finally taken outside the facility, back to the outside world, to a place called Albatross. I was not sure if this was an epilogue or something else, but I kept exploring, until I found the Sister of the Unlost again, the mysterious faction of gatekeepers who keeps showing up all over the place. And then Dr. Khan again, who is now confirmed to be an entity, or an IS, taking the form of the late Dr. Khan. He tells us to interact with a certain altar, as we have the power of the sun disk at hand, and I reluctantly do it, knowing that something is really off. And then the final boss boss appears. IS-0117. I was not really expecting an actual designated boss fight in this game. We have some enemies that are very tanky and could be considered boss fights, but not like this. This is an actual fight. So difficult that I died twice. I decided to basically empty my entire weapon arsenal and dig up all the ammo I had collected for the past 200 hours of playing this goddamn amazing game. And after a lot of prepping and a lot of struggle and digging through my whole stack of ammo, I got him. And then the credits rolled. Defeating the boss felt great, but the credits rolling so early honestly felt a bit empty. I had so many questions, but luckily an epilogue takes you back into the game and you are allowed to give your mind some ease. However, these final conversations opens up more questions than they provide answers. Why was Dr. Khan so obsessed with the IS-0117? And where did Dr. Khan go? What's gonna happen to the world now that IS-0117 has opened up a rift in the universe itself? Where is Abe? Apparently has gone missing in a submarine somewhere. And Dr. Riggs mentions that nobody has seen the research director himself of the whole facility anywhere. Derek Mans, the guy that has provided you with a lore throughout the whole game with his holographic messages. There's also this final facility that you are unable to enter at all. And what are we, the player, gonna do now that we are free from the facility? So many questions. Gameplay wise, this ending was a grand culmination of everything the game has built up to so far. But story wise, I felt unsatisfied. I need to know more to feel closure with this game. Regardless of this inconclusive ending, I still regard this game as one of the all-time greats. And luckily, Deepfield has confirmed that this is not the end of their support with this game. There will be more. There are many loose ends to tie up, and I'm excited to see where we will go next. This is a game that will always pique my interest and intrigue, and I will always be excited to revisit this game again and again. I have basically only played on the same save file throughout this whole development cycle of this game, but I think it's high time for me to revisit the game from the beginning and see all of the wonderful reworks and rebalancing that Deepfield has done to this masterpiece. Abiotic 1.0 has finally been released, and the conclusion to this grand scientific journey has finally come to fruition. But there are plenty of stories left to experience in this masterwork of a game, and I can't wait to turn it completely inside out. Thank you for listening.